Imagine you're a 4-year-old sitting on the floor and building a block tower. You're so happy and proud as you build it up higher. Then someone comes along and knocks it down. You feel angry and frustrated and sad and helpless. Then imagine an adult comes over and says, "What happened?" They look at you with compassion and love. They open their arms and give you a big hug, and you feel relieved. You sigh and you feel better. This heartwarming story was told by a woman in a TED Talk speech entitled "How to Raise Emotionally Intelligent Children." She then went into explaining her idea that making children repress their feelings causes them to grow up as adults with addictions like alcohol, screen addictions, or workaholics who avoid all feelings. Or they have aggressions because they were never allowed to express their feelings. She suggested that children would turn out to be violent and self-deprecating if they had to repress any of their feelings when they were children. Alternately, she suggests if children are able to express any and all of their feelings, they become healthy, happy adults. And when they have some feelings to deal with as adults, they will write them down in a journal, or they'll call a friend, or they'll talk to their therapist. She admits that as time has gone by, there has been a steady increase in psychological distress both in children and adults. Yet she attributes the problems of mental health to parenting methods of the past that were teaching kids to repress their feelings. I would use the word control their feelings rather than repress their feelings. She said she decided she would always listen to her child's feelings when they needed it so they would feel very secure and loved. She tells of a time when her 5-year-old came to her and obviously had some emotions going on. Because she was in a big hurry, she asked her child if she could wait and hold those feelings for a few hours. The little one looked at her as if she was crazy. So her 10-year-old said she would listen to the feelings so her mom could go out the door. That was a really sweet moment, I admit. This woman was relieved that her older child rescued her because she couldn't attend the younger child's feelings right that minute. But she just couldn't leave because she had to stop and listen at the door of the bedroom as the older child listened to the younger one. The younger one was crying and complaining about all the things they didn't like that happened at school that day. The older one listened compassionately and consoled the younger one. Again, very sweet. Awesome that the children understand how to care about each other, and an important thing to be able to do. From this, she concluded that her children had learned emotional intelligence. She also said, "I wonder what it would be like if we encouraged boys to cry and be vulnerable and encourage girls to rage and find their voice." She also suggested that we prioritize the world within us so we could better understand the world around us. But there's a huge problem with this whole mindset. What if the 5-year-old had to actually deal with her emotions on her own because no one had time to talk with her at that moment? Would she turn into a puddle of emotional meltdown because she was told she had to hold her feelings for a few hours? Is giving a child the expectation and allowance to express all their feelings at all times and making them believe that there should be someone available to complain to whenever they want it, is that actually teaching emotional intelligence, or is it teaching emotional dependency? I believe the latter. What it is doing is teaching a child that their feelings are at the center of their world, their life, and the lives of everyone else around them. This mindset is one of the main reasons children are growing up to believe that reality is secondary to how they feel, and that every emotion is good, important, and must be expressed and validated by others. This mindset is doing a huge disservice to the child who learns it, and a disservice to the people that have to deal with them when they grow up. I'm not saying that we should not listen to our children's feelings or give them time to tell us about what they're feeling and going through. In fact, that is one of the main things I teach parents. That eye-to-eye time twice a day is essential so that your child is able to let you know what they're thinking and feeling, and that they know you are interested and can talk things out with them. But that is not the same as a child learning that all their feelings are important, that all their feelings need to be expressed and validated, that someone must be there to listen no matter what is going on, and especially that we should encourage boys to cry or girls to rage, or even vice versa. Teaching a child how to have emotional intelligence means that they learn which feelings are valid and should be expressed and when, and which are not valid and should not be expressed, and how to think through things intelligently, not emotionally. They need to learn about how the world works, that they understand they are loved by their parents and can talk to them, not rage at them or scream at them or cry at every little boo-boo, or expect immediate emotional satisfaction at every emotional whim that passes through their mind. Also, that not everybody cares about all that. They will have to live in the world where sometimes they just won't like something that's going on, and they have to get past it and move on without having an emotional meltdown and having a crying and complaining session. And sometimes they just have to wait and be patient. Also, that they will have a boss someday that doesn't care if their coworker said something that made them feel bad. They just want them to do their job. Or they may have a spouse that's insensitive at times, and they need to be able to deal with that without breaking up their marriage over it, thinking they're experiencing some kind of emotional abuse worthy of causing their children to grow up in a broken home. Teaching emotional intelligence would mean to instruct that little child on the floor who's playing with those blocks to tell the other child that wasn't very nice, but to ask them to come and play with them so they can build the tower together. The parent would certainly show them compassion at the moment, but not make a huge big deal out of it. They would teach them to deal with disappointments without dependency on others. For that little child who had a bad day at school, mom could say, "I can't talk to you right now, but I'll be back at 7, and we can sit down so you can tell me all about your day." And the little one would be fine with that. But it is important that you know when to teach your child that an emotion is appropriate and when it isn't. So click on the screen now to see another short video that explains when to allow a child to express an appropriate emotion and when to tell them it's not appropriate. Parents, you can do this. I hope to see you here next time.